Trailmix, he's the trail, she's the mix. They hike on trails and step on sticks. Trailmix.
Hello, this is Trailmix, and I'm Chris.
I'm Tori. I'm Zinnia.
I'm Peter. I'm Tori's dad.
This is my cousin.
We're here today at the north end of Battlefield Park.
Near the Battle for Oxford.
So we don't know anything about the trail itself other than it gets really, really hard, but we will essentially be moving from where the Confederate
Trenches, earthworks.
through the Confederate earthworks through the battlefield into where the Union earthworks were. Union soldiers attacked this area in 1864.
Yes.
And that's all you really need to know. Don't be so greedy for information. It's very cold today, so that's why we're bundled up. Oh, also, this is not Florida. It's daggone Virginia in the dead of winter.
Which is why we're here.
Exactly.
We're not going to Florida.
It looks cold outside, but it's actually much, much colder. Oh, this is the entrance of the trail, and over there is the parking lot. And... all right, and here we go.
I think over there are some earthworks.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of, I mean, fine line between a ditch and an earthwork.
Could you define earthwork real quick?
Earthworks are just like, they're fortifications that you can make over the shovel. I think that's a creek bed.
Oh, yeah.
When it gets that violent. Well, that's the thing is there's really no way to, sometimes, yeah, it is hard to tell sometimes.
It's pretty windy.
Windy, yeah.
Yep.
If it's really windy, it's
There's
probably
an
going to be
earthwork.
a
Is it a
creek.
creek bed? Even our historian does not know.
Great pressure. No, this is probably more like a, well, yeah. I'll stop pointing at him until I'm sure. This might be a.
Okay. Fix it in post. We'll just
Come back here and dig some earthworks in post. All right, what do we got here? Blue trail marker 1 through 13. That's us. Taking a left. Taking a left. And look at these over here.
Oh, are these earthworks?
Those, yes, those I think are redans or artillery emplacements.
Oh, I see. Ooh.
If you are in one section and an artillery shell lands in that section, it will kill everyone in that section, but these people over here will not be affected by it.
Okay.
You can separate guns, you can separate gunpowder. You don't want to have everything in one big open area so that one artillery shell can land and explode in the powder and kill everybody in the entire thing. You can keep fighting from these other ones, even after one of them is obliterated.
That's good, because these are my favorite.
They're adorable.
So yeah, that's just a little scooch that goes down there.
Okay.
We don't need that because we're heading for this.
We're going to the bad boy.
Where are we now?
We're right there at that little,
Number 1.
right next to number 1. Got it?
Got it.
This is the largest earthwork I've ever seen. It's huge. One man and one shovel. Doing it big.
Well, they had slaves, so
Oh yeah, or mostly slaves. Who knows? Probably slaves. Did they bring slaves into the army? Like, dig us trenches.
yeah, of course they did. Why would they do it? When they had them to use, they absolutely did. And the escaped slaves would go north, and the army would say, "Yeah, you're free now. Dig us trenches." No, we're not paying you. So it wasn't much better. But they weren't called slaves; they were called contrabands at that point. So that's all the difference. You have a new, they're contraband.
Oh, so that's what a contraband is. You know, I never thought to actually define the word.
Well, I mean, contraband means, it doesn't change the meaning of the word. It still means something that you own that you should, that's stolen, essentially. You have no right to own. But that's what the slaves were called, because in theory, they didn't want to say they're free men. They wanted to say, they were still suggesting they were someone else's property. They just gave them a different word for it.
Right.
They're contrabands.
What is it that we have found, Zinni? This is wintergreen, which is a plant that is native around here. And those are the spent berries, and they're little white berries. Aww. And it's a type of mint. And it's just pretty. We probably won't see that in Florida. Yeah. Don't get used to it. This isn't a waterfall, it's a water small.
Oh, this is cool. It's a waterwork. And confetti work.
And creeks were natural boundaries, and that's not earthworks, but they were defensible because even though they're not much, and you could jump over that, if you're loaded down with stuff, it still makes you stumble, slows you down. And if you have guys up this hill shooting at them while they're trying to maneuver through this, I mean, they would definitely have this area defended, because this was probably not here.
I find that hard to believe.
That bench was
Well,
definitely.
at least Old Patch was here. That must have been
Old
amazing.
Patch.
Old Patch was
On 5/22/17.
Y'all
love
fishing?
this.
That's Old Patch is asking if y'all fishing?
Still curious.
Get out of here, Old Patch.
What y'all catching in here?
Good old Patch.
Got you some
Hey.
crawdads?
You're not as polite as Old Patch.
Got you some catfish?
See,
And
I
again,
feel like, you know, if the Trailmix could be rangers, like the Trailmix Rangers, the historian would be a key part
right.
of those rangers. The historian would be the Manila Ranger.
It feels so cool!
It really is, though.
I thought it was 15.
This is where the last battle. Ledley's legacy.
Lily.
That beardo! Whoa!
It's just
I have to get a
out.
picture of that.
It's out.
That mustache, that is an amazing mustache.
I think it's
One day.
mustache than beard.
That's more mustache than any man can handle.
Gaylord Marshall.
And what a great Colonel Elisha.
Betty Susan Gaylord.
A fun way to pretend like you know a lot about plants is whenever there's like white stripes on a leaf, it's called variegation. Variegation. So it is a variegated leaf. You're a variegated leaf. I am.
Colonel Elisha Gaylord.
Variegated, yes. Okay, we're going pro.
Hiking extreme stunts. Hanging upside down. Let's see if I can even get up here.
And your pants are going to be completely destroyed. Do it, do it, do it.
Oh, please don't break. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, your other camera.
Oh yeah, let's take this one off. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is it still on?
Zinnia, bad influence cantrell. That's my.
Colonel Elisha Gaylord, Zinnia Bad Influence, Walter Periwinkle Ranger.
Chartreuse cantrell. That's me. Let's arrive.
We're at the end of the trail. We're coming up on marker 13, the end of the blue trail. And there's a nice platform for us to stand on and look at some Union earthworks.
All right, you know what this means. Every person who ends the trail has to add to the earthwork. That's why they have shovels up here.
For a minimum of 6 hours.
Well, dig some more. You guessed it right. Yeah.
I said it. We don't have any cool pictures of weird guys with awesome facial hair this time around, though.
We made it! We're at the Union trenches!
Hooray!
Yeah!
Stop number 13, the last stop. Although we're considering keeping going. Just keep on going until we get to a river and just splash it in.
Chop down every tree we see. There were specific signs saying, please don't do that.
Hunt some beavers.
I said please. I didn't say don't do it or
This was
else.
not an order, it was a suggestion. But we're not doing that. We're going back.
So we're back in Florida. It went very well. It was built up by my father to be extremely difficult to traverse, but it really wasn't. It was a little steep in some areas, but even those areas were not so bad.
The trail was good for a sightseeing venture. So if you're interested in history of that area in Virginia, it had a lot of different plaques all along the trail that were I thought were interesting to read.
Tons of guys with crazy facial hair
Yeah.
and crazier names.
If anything marked that time period of the Civil War and everything, other than the Civil War itself, it was crazy hair.
So between the four of us, we had to compile our ratings. I will read them to you now via the magic of text messaging. 1 to cool critters first. What did you think about that?
Ooh, one of the cool critters? I would say...
Let me give you what Chi-Chi said first, because I think it's enlightening.
I see.
And it's gonna be way better than your stupid answer.
Wow.
So, he included the idea of flora, being in that, because we did see some really nifty plants while we were there. And so he gave it a rating of a pleasing pile of moss.
I like that rating. My rating is gonna be several still life images of Civil Warian soldiers. They weren't physically on the trail, but their memory and probably ghosts are on that trail even today.
Are ghosts critters?
What else would they be?
That's a great point. As for Zinnia, I liked her answer as well. She gave it a rating of sneaky tracks, because we saw lots of traces of critters, but no actual critters. Those could have been critter ghosts too, when you think about it.
Yeah, but Civil War ghosts are way cooler than critter ghosts.
They could have been from the Civil War too, Chris. They had critters in the Civil War.
Okay, I'm just saying my ghosts would kill and eat your ghosts. So my ghosts are better. That means they're better.
I gave it a sneaky tracks.
You have to come up with your own rating.
No, I am putting in another vote for her rating.
Tori, we're Kilgores. Okay, we don't take other people's votes.
Ghost tracks. That's my rating. You're welcome.
Thank you. We have embarked on this journey together, and there is no going back now. And by going back, I mean voting for other people's ratings.
Okay, so let's talk about beauty.
Let's talk about that. The object that's everyone's thinking about, but no one wants to say.
So uncomfortable to talk about beauty.
Is there a scale for beauty, or is it just under the mark beauty?
Let me tell you what my father's scale was.
Oh.
He gave it a solid, straightforward 8 out of 10 rifle pits. Nothing else was said.
Like, if I was single and those rifle pits were a woman,
you would have died in the Civil War.
It would have been a very awkward death. They would have come over the hill and be like, Chris, what are you doing? And then they just would have lit. Anyway.
We'll fix that in post.
I give it 6 very clean informational plaques and 2 very disgustingly dirty and looked like someone had wiped them down but just didn't bother with actually cleaning the plaques. 2 of those. And 6 clean ones.
So a mixture of 8 plaques.
Yes. A total of 8 out of 8 plus. Because there could have been more.
You cannot make it less specific than 8 plus.
Oh my gosh! Are you going to rate it or not? Or are you just going to complain about my rating?
Only when they're terrible. All right. So in terms of beauty, Zinni says that it was not terribly notable, but it gets freebie points for being winter. Also, many bonus points for the beautiful field, of which you will probably not see footage because it was that blindingly beautiful.
There are pictures of it on our site, though. If you're super, super curious as to what it looked like.
I'm sure that you must be, because we talk about how beautiful it is all the time.
Man, the only thing I can remember about that trail was this really beautiful field. I've been just kind of winging it this entire time so far. All I can really picture is that field because it's so gorgeous.
I've been thinking about it since we left. It's really hard to do my job and household tasks. I spend so much time.
I can't sleep. I can't eat. I just only the field. That's it. I'm gonna strike this awesome pose while you think.
You do that. And I give it 1 golden field of dreams. So in terms of overall hikeability, my father pointed out that the only difficult thing about it is that we tried to take a shortcut to leave and went the wrong way, which somehow is the trail's fault, so we gave it a 7 out of 10.
I thought this trail was very hikeable, and he was the only person who was over 40 that hiked this trail, so considering he gave it a 7 out of 10, even though we made it harder on ourselves because of ourselves, that's pretty good. You know, I feel like anybody who is able to get to the trail will be able to hike it fairly successfully.
Zinni rates it easy breezy with just enough hills for a feeling of accomplishment and lack of breath. Also, bonus level, Forbidden Blast Zone, which we will not elaborate on.
That's it, that's all you get. If you get in all the cereal box tops, you will be keyed in on the secret of the Forbidden Zone.
If you mail us enough Yoplait yogurt lids.
Or 1 Yokai Watch keychain, we will also relinquish the information.
A real Yokai Watch keychain though. For my hikeability rating, I'm gonna call it ultra hikeable. I would call it because
Wow, ultra hikeable.
And this is the first time I've used this rating because typically the trails that Chris and I traverse are a little on the easier side, and in truth, it's more of a walk than a hike. I feel like this had just enough incline, just enough...
chutzpah.
That was almost the word I used.
It should have been the word you used.
To be a hike. To hike it. Ultra hikeable. And at last, our X Factor, which was old-timey names. How would you rate this in the category of old-timey names?
1 Elisha Trailmix Periwinkle Ranger Manila Chartreuse Alligator Susan Betty Gaylord Marshall.
That is not unlike my father's vote, which was, he gives it a Gaylord. Zinnia rates it exceeds expectations. Looking at you, Elisha Marie Fairy Dust Gaylord.
I mean, we couldn't have seen it, but I'm sure his ghost waved us goodbye as we drove away.
With his hook hand. But I'm sure he must have.
His hook hand that was in our car door. In a bloody zigzag as the metal was wrenched away from our car.
For my rating, I give it a bloody zigzag. Just kidding. I give it 1864 Gaylords.
Yes! 4 out of 4. Clean slate win. What's 4 strikes in a row in bowling? Well, whatever it is, it's that. You know what? If there is no name for it, that's what it's now called. The Gaylord Marshall.
You know, someone in my life made an official complaint that our ratings were not quantitative enough. And I really hope that she's watching this particular video. I would like to give a special thanks to our beautiful, stunning assistants, my father and my cousin. They were invaluable to this very educational, serious, solemn adventure. If you want a closer look at any of the photos that we took, you can go to trailmixphotos.com.
And if you like our stuff, please click the like button or subscribe. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.
So we were thinking that this would make a really good sound if you crunched it. We were right!